Welcome to the Mundus Fractura Law Guide. This week on Law Guide, we will take a look at the substance known as mutagen. When basic green residuum comes into contact with acids produced by biological organisms such as the acid of dragons, drecar, gelatinous cubes, or jubilee. The result of acidic exposure is the gooey gel-like substance known as mutagen. Mutagen is either translucent or opaque and can range in color from clear or milky white through greens to the deepest black. Regardless of its opacity or color, this material has fascinating effects on biological organisms, causing rapid, nearly unpredictable mutations. Mutations occur via direct contact with the substance through touch, immersion, ingestion, and in rare cases, inhalation. The severity of the mutations is typically commensurate with the amount of exposure, with small splashes of the substance causing relatively minor physical transformation, where a situation of total immersion would either alter the subject to a near completely new, never-before-seen aberration, or consume the subject entirely, creating a mutagenic gelatinoid. What, you might ask, is a mutagenic gelatinoid? A gelatinoid is any gelatinous creature, sentient or otherwise. Gelatinous cubes and jubilee are sentient gelatinoids, where other non-sentient gelatinoids would include your typical dungeon monsters like puddings and slimes. A mutagenic gelatinoid, therefore, is a sub- or parallel species which has all of the characteristics of a gelatinoid, but is also mutagenic. As with typical gelatinoids, these creatures can be either sentient or not. The original subject's sentience seems to have no bearing on the resulting transmogrified creature's awareness or sentience. In either case, the resulting ambulant mutagenic creatures can be, let's say, problematic. The mindless versions of these creatures have a propensity to hide from sunlight and often make their way into caves, dungeons, or ruins where they exist, feeding on insects and small animals. Occasionally, larger versions of these mindless slimes come into existence, but they are typically dealt with swiftly by local dragon populations. Dragons, especially black dragons, will not abide a creature such as this to exist in or near its territory, but this is a topic for another time. Sentient mutagenic gelatinoids have a habit, either by intent or not, of attracting cults. Deep in the southern mountains of the nation of the many gods, there is rumored to exist one of these cults. The focus of the cult's veneration is a mutagenic gelatinoid said to have once been a gelatinous cube known to the peoples of the nation as the hero Water Oops. We will delve deeper into the cult of Water Oops another time, as I'm digressing a bit too much. Back to the basics. The mutations come in two, let's call them, flavors. Translucent mutagens cause what is scientifically referred to as natural mutations. These mutations add, remove, or modify normal biological form or functions. Things like growing crab legs, additional testicles, or changing your ears into jellyfish. You know, normal stuff. Opaque mutagens, on the other hand, cause what are known as supernatural mutations. These manifest bizarre, powerful, or terrifying transformations. Growing horns on your head, but the horns emit the sounds of brass instruments. There is a recorded instance where the mutation separated the spirit from the body by 5 feet, leaving the subject to live their life watching their body in third person. In another case, there was a dwarf whose feet turned into fire. She was resistant to the fire from the knees down, but not above. She did not survive long after her transformation. It is a general consensus by the nations of Mundus that mutagen is not a substance to be trifled with. The use of mutagen for conflict or benefit is nearly universally either frowned upon or simply outlawed. That is all for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for future Law Guide shorts, and thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.